Let's go then with our Bosch Power Tools Perth SuperSprint Friday press conference, which means we've called up the team principals for this one today. So welcome to the three who have made it in today. We've got Bruce Stewart in the middle. We have Matt Stone and Tim Blanchard. And lots of topics to discuss. Let's just start with the good form there, because if I turn the clock back only the 1 year, it was a very different story for this team, Bruce. So to roll straight out and be quick straight away in both Super 2 and main game, you tell me how that feels, please.
Yeah, well, Perth has been challenging for a few years, but equally last year in Super 2, Ryan Wood had a great weekend. But you're right, coming here and having both Chaz and Woody looking pretty pacey is great, but early days. So I've been to this track so many times in my life, and you know, this can bite you. You know, when you get into racing and you get into those long race runs, that's when you meet your master and find out where you're really at. But really pleasing, certainly a test day helps us as well coming towards this event.
Indeed. Just you personally, we missed you in New Zealand, and being from that neck of the woods, I imagine that must have been heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was a visa issue. No, please don't write that AVL. No, yeah, it was, but it was epic to watch it on TV. And certainly it's frustrating away from the track, but you see what a great job the guys and the girls from the TV side do and how good the coverage is. And yeah, you ride the bumps as well. I mean, you know, that was a round that was pacey, but also frustrating at different times, you know, in many different ways. So I think coming here, it's an opportunity for our whole team, the guys and girls at WAU, to do a really good job, do the 1% as well, and see if we can put ourselves in contention.
And also, Rihanna mentioned that the team has a bit of a heavy heart in a few different areas this week with some sad personal loss amongst the team as well. So is there a little bit of extra motivation there too?
Absolutely. We talk about family a lot in our team, and, you know, people, you know, racing teams are made up of human beings, and people go through these moments that are so hard, and we can only feel for them and put our arms around them and tell them that we're thinking of them and we're riding with them. So yeah, we have three names in our car reflecting for Macca, Anthony McDonald's mum, Lee Holdsworth's dad, and young Sylvester Tan's grandmother, and equally it's just our way of saying, hey, we're with you guys.
Well done, mate. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
I'm sure the journos will have some more for you. I'll take it over to Matt. We talk about the highs and lows of a session. What's the early prognosis of what you guys need to do tonight, do you think, for car 4?
I literally saw it coming off the tilt tray as I made my way over here, so a bit early to say the extent of the damage, but obviously it was a pretty big hit straight into concrete, no tyres, so that always leaves a bit of a mark. But fortunately, we've got a full truck full of spares and all the parts to rebuild it from the ground up. So hopefully it's not the whole car being rebuilt from the ground up, but either way, we're confident we'll have the car good as new for tomorrow.
Your team's doing such a good job. You know, you're so far up pit lane at the moment, and you're continuing the good form that you started with at the beginning of the Gen 3 era. You just feel like this is exactly what you got into the team business to go and do?
Absolutely. You know, Gen 3's been, you know, the revitalisation our team had really been looking for. You know, we had to drag out the old cars a little bit longer than we wanted to with the delays in Gen 3, but you know, we put the work in and really put all our eggs in the Gen 3 basket. So it's good to see it paying off, and yeah, we're really enjoying going racing. Despite the lows of what happens like today, we're still having a good time as a team, and you know, we're looking forward to fixing the car and getting some pace on tomorrow and trying to get both cars up the front.
Nice. Well done today. Tim, cool to see you here, buddy. Can you give us a bit of an update on the Blanchard Racing team 1 day into the Perth event?
Yeah, like Bruce said, pretty early stages of the weekend, but yeah, we had, safe to say, a shocker in New Zealand where we really struggled. So for JC to be up towards the pointy end today and at this early stage of the weekend is encouraging for the whole team. You know, he obviously loves this place, been on the podium the last couple of years here, and so I think there's hopefully a good weekend ahead. But yeah, we've got a bit of work to do with Aaron's car, you know, to get him up to speed. I think he's having a few issues with the brakes. But yeah, overall, it's after what was a weekend to forget in New Zealand, it's a pretty positive start for us.
How's the motivation going for your team, given the live pit lane order and wanting to see your team move up the order, which is the whole reason you went and got that second car, and you want to see yourself a little further up the lane?
Yeah, I think we're realistic in the expansion and the pains that come with it. So, we've gone from roughly 5 people full time to about 14, 15 full time. So that's, it's a big change in the team and the dynamic of the team. Pretty much everyone on the team wasn't here with us last year, so it's effectively a fully new team from a personnel point of view. I think operationally and the culture side of it since January, since everyone's joined, has been tremendous and is improving dramatically week to week. Then it's the hard bit, which is getting the car speed. So we've struggled with that the first 3 rounds, and no one in the team will deny that. But I think the foundations have been really good away from the car speed, and that's building, and hopefully today's the first sign of glimmer of some of that hard work starting to translate into some on-track performance as well. But yeah, there's a long way to go this weekend before we can say that, really.
Nice. Well, good job today. And we'll open it up to the journos.
Bruce, how's it seems like you guys have got the consistency sort of down pat. I mean, obviously, just in terms of pace, Chaz in particular and Ryan at times has been very quick at all the events so far. What do you put that down to? I guess that was once upon a time maybe a criticism of WAU, and the consistency's really sort of come along.
Well, as you develop your cars and we get to know more about Gen 3, and our team bonds a little bit closer, and we have some new people in as well, they add new thinking in. You hope that you naturally get faster and a little bit more competitive all the time, and that certainly has happened. I think the real focus for us is converting that now, and that's a really interesting thing in motorsport, because you've got super pro teams all around you up and down the pit lane who are all trying to do their best to knock you over. And in that respect, it comes down to little moments and little 1%ers and managing to knock those over and put yourself in contention. So for us, a real focus is just play your role, and let's see what we can do when we get it all right on the same day, and maintain that. Momentum's a funny thing in motorsport too. Once you have it, you got to grab it and roll with it. But when you don't have it, you look everywhere for it. So it's a really interesting moment for our team, and this is a cool test.
And do you feel like, Chaz has sort of spoken about, the frustration of trying to get that first win with Ford. Do you feel like that is sort of that momentum thing, that if you can get that first one, maybe second and third and fourth might come pretty quickly too?
Oh, you certainly hope that, and everyone here, you come here to win, so there's no participation medals in supercars. This is, let's get on the top steps. So certainly I'd be deceitful if I didn't tell you that you're not looking at that win and wanting to achieve it, because again, you look at momentum, and if you can get it, you can get yourself on a roll. So for us, just focus on the little things and get it done.
Matt, was there any early indication of a cause behind that cam incident?
No, we obviously just saw the red lines on the telemetry and then heard him on the radio letting us know what had happened. So I'm sure the guys back in the pits now have figured out what the cause was, and they're starting to already think about how to fix it. But I sort of missed that as I was on my way over here. So I can't speak on that right now, but I'm sure we'll find it to be something very simple and frustrating, as it usually is, and we'll get on with it for tomorrow.
Sorry, what was Cam's sort of, initial feedback?
He said, ow, I think. Nah, just kidding. No, he said it felt like a wheel came off, which obviously got us concerned, being that the car had just come in the pits for fresh tyres. But the wheels are all firmly attached, so it wasn't that. But we're thinking it was probably something in the front suspension has failed. And, he's just got to the point where he's wanting to turn, and the car didn't want to play ball.
And just, Tim, with, you spoke about this has been a good track for JC, but it was also a good track for you guys last year. Probably maybe your most competitive, round last year. Is there anything to that, or is it sort of because there has been such turnover, is that kind of almost irrelevant?
Yeah, I think there's an element of that. Gives it a bit, there's a bit to learn from last year, what we had, which was obviously pretty competitive. We had a couple of top 10 results, and we were tied and just missed out on a podium. So, yeah, our car was competitive last year. It's a bit we've brought over from last year towards this year, and yeah, I think then there's also James that's got a fair bit of feedback from the last 2 years where he's been on the podium. So, kind of using all the knowledge we can to try and create something that's fast, and yeah, we'll see how that transpires tomorrow.
A question across the board to you guys. It was in this press conference last year at this track with the team bosses where Stephen Grove talked about the cost of Gen 3 being one of the challenges of the introduction of the new platform. It was expensive. We've come a long way in terms of, I think, a lot of the actual car-related issues that were faced by the category when the new cars came in. How about cost-wise? Where are things at? I mean, we've got two sort of smaller privateer style teams, one of the bigger teams. How have things have they settled down? Where are things cost-wise with Gen 3 at the moment?
For us, certainly, I think we understand what we've got now in terms of the car. Obviously, some of those big-ticket technical items have been rectified over the last 12 months, which obviously all came at additional cost. But certainly there is an element to this car where it's more labour-intensive and some componentry is definitely more exy and more time-consuming. So there still very much is a cost containment issue, I think, with Gen 3. But we've all got the equipment, we all know what we're doing with it, and we're all the racing is really good. I think Supercars and all the teams are working well together to try and identify those areas that we can amend and we can tidy up on. So it is an ongoing project, but once everything's built and out there racing, it's going to be a slow process. So I think everyone's working towards it, and I think we'll achieve it as a group. But yeah, there's still certainly work to be done there.
Yeah, I guess as Matt said, it's work in progress. I think there's a lot of areas where we probably need to improve, but I think Supercars is working pretty closely with the teams at the moment on that. So so always want things to be cheaper and a good show. But I think at the moment it's not where we want to be, but there's a lot of progress in the discussions to get there.
Yeah, I concur with both the gents. I think Supercars and the teams have done some great work, but we're not there yet. There is still more to go. And in that respect also, you put into the mix calendar events and looking at how we can present the show and bring in more investment into the sport is probably the other side of the ledger as well.
Another one for you, Bruce. You guys worked hard to get Ryan, to make sure there was space for Ryan in the Super 2 program last year. You've taken a risk with him as a rookie driver in the main game this season. There's always risk attached to doing that. Is there a sense of relief when you see just how fast the guy's been in just those first few races in his main game career?
Well, you know our team pretty well, and we've got some very well-credentialed technical people who have been in my ear and Ryan's ear and Zach and Michael's ear in regard to how quick he is and how the potential is. Certainly he's a young guy. We love his enthusiasm and energy, but we don't kid ourselves that there are still going to be moments where the experience isn't quite there yet, but he has speed that you can't teach, and we're super excited at what he can do for our team whilst taking every event by event and working through it with him.
For you, Tim, you've got a rookie driver as well. I think that there's, and I know from talking to people that we both know that Aaron is incredibly quick as well, but hasn't quite had the opportunity yet to showcase that. Is there a bit of people management with him as a young driver, trying to sort of keep his head up and keep him heading in the direction you need him to be as a rookie?
Yeah, I think it's we've put him in a very difficult position because he's driving in his rookie season, driving in an expanding team where the car's not great. It's difficult to drive, but we put him in this situation because we've seen what he's done and everything else he's raced. As Bruce mentioned, that we've got all the technical people on our side have looked at all the data and seen all this and are very impressed by what they see. His attitude and competitiveness is really impressive. So, for us, it's just a matter of time. We've got to get our own house in order, and I'm sure once we give him the equipment, we'll see his true ability. But his attitude and positivity so far this season's been really good, considering what he's had to deal with. And I think he sees a lot of. I think he sees a lot of progress in what we're doing and steps we're taking to improve the team and the car for him. And so I think he's still in a pretty good frame of mind, which is always the danger with a rookie driver when the car's not great. So we just need a good weekend and give him a good car, and we'll see what his talent is like.
Matt, how are we tracking with co-drivers? With the Enduros about 4 months away.
Yeah, look, we pretty much know what we're doing there, and it's probably about time we start thinking about letting everyone in on the secret. Not this big secret, but we were all locked and loaded and ready to go, and we'll probably get that out to all you guys in due course.
Okay, it's exciting. Tim, we know one of your guys. Are we across the other one yet?
Yeah, Bruce is doing the
Well
second.
done, Bruce.
Just got about 12 kilos to lose, and then I will be cherry ripe.
Yeah.
Cherry ripe. That's the quote.
Cheer up when he gets out. I guess we're probably similar position to Matt. Kind of looking at one or two options, but one option's pretty where we're trying to get to. So I think I'd like to say that by the time we get to Darwin, we'll have that all announced.
Cool. Any follow-up there? We all happy? Excellent. Thank you for your time. Well done today, and go get 'em.